Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about why you shouldn't seek praise. There are a few problems with doing this, but the most important one is that when you're constantly seeking praise, you're basically doing things for external validation, for that attention and validation that you receive from other people in the form of praise. And that's a big problem because if you're constantly seeking external validation, then your motivation lies outside of yourself, which means it will be very easy for you to become demotivated when you're going throughout life. If you're working on something where you're not seeing immediate progress and you're not achieving the goal in a short period of time, so you're not receiving that praise and the dopamine hit that comes with it, then you're probably going to start losing your motivation to even accomplish that goal. And that's not good. That means that you're not going to have the discipline to follow through on your long-term goals if you even come up with any at that point. So it's important to not live for praise, to not seek it. What you should do is live for yourself. Do things that you want to do for yourself. And if you get praised for it, who cares? You're doing it first and foremost for you. That is what matters. That's how you develop intrinsic motivation, which is basically motivation that lasts because it's coming from within, which means nobody can take it away from you. Because you're not doing it for external validation, then you're going to keep going even if you don't receive praise. Because you'll know that at some point you're going to accomplish a goal and you're doing it for you. So that's what matters. That's what you should focus on. Do not get caught up in seeking praise. I can tell you from making these videos, there were times where I was getting kind of caught up on it because I liked seeing how these videos were helping people. So I liked receiving positive feedback from them, knowing that the videos were helping. But the more I did that, it created a problem because then when a video didn't perform as well, so it didn't receive as many comments, I would lose some motivation. And at some point I realized that this was happening and I said, whoa, this isn't good because how am I going to make a video a day if I'm getting caught up on basically the engagement that I'm getting with each video? Because naturally some of them won't do as well just because of the topics, or maybe the reach on that day isn't good because the Instagram algorithm and YouTube algorithms are wonky as hell. You never know. There could be so many factors affecting how well a video performs. So at some point I said, you know what? It would be ridiculous of me to do this for praise, for that external validation, because then I'm not going to have the motivation to follow through on doing this for as long as I want to. Which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, my current goal is to do 1,000 videos in a row. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun ride. But anyway, that's just a little bit of an anecdote from my own life. But there's also another problem with seeking praise. And this one is also pretty big. If you're constantly seeking praise, it's going to make it very difficult for you to handle the opposite, criticism. You probably see where I'm going with this. Because if you're constantly living for praise, then when you get criticized, it's going to be amplified because you're so used to receiving praise and you desire it so much that when you get someone who actually criticizes what you do instead of praising you, it's going to destroy you. You're going to place so much power in the hands of that person, that criticizer, that negative Nancy, that they're going to demolish your motivation. So that is another reason why you should not seek praise. It makes it so that if you value praise a lot, then you're inevitably going to value the opposite of it. That's just how things work. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this as well. He says, yeah, if you're constantly focused on both that positive feedback, then inevitably the negative feedback will stand out to you more as well. So you have to do something where you basically ignore both. And that makes it so that you can work yet again for yourself, accomplish your goals for you, so that you're not derailed from people saying good things or bad things about what you're doing. I mean, yet again, going back to making these videos, this has helped me immensely because the first few basically criticism-based comments that I received, they definitely stood out to me because I was so used to receiving more positive ones, and I, like I said, was getting kind of hooked on the positive feedback, that when I got my first few criticizing ones, it was not fun. They stood out to me immensely. So I can tell you, now that I ignore the positive a lot more, it makes it easier to handle the criticism I receive, especially in some cases where it's because they misinterpret what I was saying, and That's really annoying, but there's no way to work around that because I can't control how people interpret what I say. And even though I mean one thing when I say it, if they hear the opposite, there's nothing I can do about that. But it's unfortunate. But anyway, you have to get to that place where you basically ignore both, because then you can finally start doing things for you. You can start developing that intrinsic motivation where you're not going to be derailed regardless of what people say on either end of the spectrum. You're going to keep working until you accomplish your goals and dreams because you're doing it for you. And that's the way you should go through life. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!